Yeah, and so this book, Genderqueer, I believe we ran a story about it about a month ago. Some parent came up at the school board meeting. She brought this book she had checked out at the school library. She printed out pictures from the book. She read excerpts from it, and it was porn. There are pictures of characters who look juvenile performing sex acts on one another, and the schools were disseminating these books to minors, to people, one school, 7th graders, 6th graders had access to this book. Then weeks later, we saw the book pop up at another school, and then another school, and another school. And it's been all over the country.
Popular book.
Public schools, across the country have been putting this book in their school libraries and allowing minors to basically read porn in school. And so we did some digging into this. Places like the Federalist, they did some digging into this. And we found that the book is being promoted and reviewed by these organizations that school libraries use to determine what to put in their, catalog. So the School Library Journal, for instance, was one of them, who gave Genderqueer a, rave review, said it will resonate with teens. It's also a great resource for those who identify as non-binary or asexual, as well as those who know someone who identifies that way and wish to better understand them. That's what the School Library Journal said. And so,
as long as understanding them means defining people by the sex acts that they participate in, it sounds like it might be accurate.
Yes. And then another organization, which is also used for the same purpose, the Young Adult Library Services Association, gave the book an Alex Award, which is an award they give to books that have a special appeal to young adults aged 12 through 18 years old.
I'll bet it does.
Yeah. So now we know this is just systemic. This whole system is corrupt from the from the roots to the stems. And basically you just have left-wing activists recommending what books these school libraries need to take in. The school libraries take them at their word, and then that's how you end up getting porn put straight into the hands of children in schools all over the country.
Read that Alex Award criteria again. I mean, that sounds like porn to me when you read it.
Yeah.
It had like special meaning for 12 to 18-year-olds?
Special appeal to young adults aged 12 through 18.
Yeah, porn. How could porn not win that? I mean, how... You could apply that to almost anything special appeal.
Get this, in their kind of description of the book, they said, gender and comes into beautiful focus in this graphic memoir. Expressively illustrated with retro colors and simple lines. Readers will recognize a kindred spirit in Kababe, that's the name of the author, and or gain insight into what it's like to identify outside of the cisgender heterosexual norm. And so now we know how it happened, but something that's a little bit murkier is why it happened. What are these people thinking? And, we won't describe exactly what the pictures show, but you see extremely graphic, pornographic images. These are, characters having sex. They look like they're juveniles. It's a book about, a kid's journey through sex. Now, activists have come forward later on and said, oh, these people are supposed to be in their 20s. Well, I don't care how old they are.
Yeah. That one turned 18 yesterday. Give me a break.
But, a big reason behind this is the way the left views sex and sexuality and the way they view children. And to them, I think you should be introducing porn. You should be introducing sex to kids at an extremely young age. Otherwise, how are they going to know how to develop? How are they going to know if they are gay or transgender and all of this? What do you guys think? Why do you think the left wants to put these sorts of books into the hands of children?
Ultimately?
Yes.
Because they want to have sex with them.
Yes.
That's why I think. I truly think that it is, there are no boundaries on the left. And that's why, they're progressive. Where does progressivism end? What's the goal? There's no goal. It just keeps going.
Right.
You're right. There's no, and there have been debates between progressives and conservatives in the past, and conservatives say, great, what's the goal? When are you going to stop? And they can't define it. There is no stopping place. There's no stopping place with this either. There's no stopping place until I get everything I want.
Yeah.
And if that includes sex with a 3-year-old, who are you to tell me that I'm not supposed to have
Well,
that?
they keep telling us love is love is love
right,
is love.
Sure.
They keep saying that. And this is the exact sort of material that if you were a pedophile, you would get a young person to read, and then that would normalize the behavior so that you could take advantage of it. So they're like basically creating a climate where pedophiles can just run free. They can, they're indoctrinating the kids for the pedophiles. So what do you think about all this, Caleb?
I think what the left likes to do is when they want to go after a taboo, they move very gradually towards it. And then all of a sudden we all look up and realize we are in a bad place. I think about in Europe, this relates to basically their acceptance of euthanasia, where for decades, especially after World War II, they were really uncomfortable with this idea of medically assisted suicide, essentially.
Sure.
Yes. And then time goes by.
With good reason.
They erode the arguments against it gradually, and then all of a sudden you have people in a lot of those countries that there's no faux pas attached to that whatsoever. So I think it's the same thing when it comes to gender and kind of sexual politics in this country, whereas they figure if you start early enough and you do it slowly, gradually, there's going to be this movement to the place we ultimately want to get to. I think that's something we sometimes neglect because we're so fixated on the individual thing, we're missing the larger trajectory.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're wrong there, Caleb. There was a piece this weekend in something I don't normally read, The Atlantic maybe, about the Netherlands and how, and sorry, libertarians are going to hate me for this, but how the drug legalization in the Netherlands has just destroyed the country because what started with, what's it going to hurt society if somebody has a joint? Turned into drug kingpins murdering journalists who dare cover, in the streets. Any journalist who dares cover the movement of hard drugs in the country now is taking his life into his own hands. It's the same kind of thing. It's just a little thing. It's just a little, and we make the same argument. Lots of people on the right in the West make that same argument about drug legalization. We have people in this building who make that argument, and it is just incrementalism. And I'm not a knee jerk like, if I thought that there were benefit to that, I'd be all for it. And I probably am like in favor of, for instance, medical marijuana. If you can show me that has true medical benefit to it, I'm probably all right with that under doctor's care, prescription, whatever. But what the left wants to do is just take a little bit. It's progressive. That's why they call it progressivism. We're going to progress here and. Okay, now we're here. Now we're going to progress here. It never ends. It never ends.
Yeah, it's got a better ring to it than gradualism.
Yeah,
it doesn't roll off the tongue quite as
exactly.
nicely.
Yeah,
it's progress. How can you argue with progress? Come on.
There's always going to be another level they need to get to.
Absolutely, it never ends.
And I think the most eye-opening aspects of this story is that when most people talk about how corrupt our school system is with the left, they think, it's just we got teachers tend to be a little too liberal, or school administrators or the school board. No, it's all of those things. It's the organizations responsible outside of the school. It's the entire infrastructure of education is completely overrun with these liberals who want to progress, who want to push these values onto children through the public school system. Because obviously the parents don't know what's right. We need to tell them what's right. And it just kind of speaks to this idea that we need to have a freedom from religion in our schools. And a lot of people take that to mean, we need to get Christianity out of our schools. No. The government cannot teach its own values to the children. Right. You go there, you learn basic facts, you get your values from home, you get your values from your religious institutions. You don't get any values given to the state that are then passed down to you. And so, does that mean maybe some less Christian things in school? Possibly. But that also means you can't teach any sort of moralistic values that the state determines. And so most people think that freedom from religion clause, that is only, ascribed to certain religious systems. That's any system of value or meaning. That's what the founders intended.